Ryan Marvel is at it again. They are giving us our third TV series of this calendar year on Disney Plus. We started with WandaVision, which confused people.
What was great.
We went to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which didn't confuse people, but divided people, but which was still really good.
No, it was okay.
Okay, there you go. But now we have fan favorite character Loki headlining his own 6-episode series, taking place after the events of Avengers Endgame, when he briefly reunites with the Tesseract and poofs away from the end of the first Avengers film. Loki knows nothing after that film, after the first Avengers film. And he's taken into custody by the Time Variance Authority. And the agent that's in charge of something, Owen Wilson, Agent Mobius, which cute little callback, or call forward, can't decide. We saw 2 episodes. The first episode dropped yesterday on Disney Plus. We saw the first 2 episodes. Let's not discuss too many spoilers, just specific stuff, but there's some general stuff going on. So the Time Variance Authority, obviously we're dealing with time travel.
And even more so, we're dealing with multiverse.
Okay, let's talk about multiverse.
or the idea that there is one correct
the
multiverse.
Sacred timeline.
One sacred timeline among many infinite possibilities, and essentially these agents and this organization are there to make sure that only the approved timeline exists.
Yes, run by the 3 space lizards, timekeepers.
Yes,
as Loki calls them, the timekeepers, the space lizards. Yes, the keeper of the sacred timeline. So, of course, my question is, well, the TVA goes around and they prune events and people that deviate from the plan. And I think it's funny that they use the word prune, because I believe, and I would have to go check, and I meant to, that's the word Steve Rogers uses at the end of Endgame when he's returning the Infinity Stones, is prune all the branches. I would have to double check. Someone call me out on that if I'm wrong. But yes, so their job is to stop changes before they cascade and generate, and I think it's funny, generate a multiverse.
Yeah.
Which makes it sound like there is no multiverse.
Or at least, yes, they have effectively gone in and destroyed every alternate timeline that has come. But the focus of this also is on they have a rogue character who has figured out their system, who has figured out how they do what they do, and who is now systematically killing off agents one by one. And so that's where we find ourselves in this world. I do love the fact that most of the backstory and kind of atmosphere that they for this, because this is it helps to have seen Marvel movies.
It does.
But this movie is so out there in its own little thing that it almost doesn't matter even if you have, because it's all double talk and anyway. It's a lot of this is explained by a very amusing animated sequence.
Yes, Miss Minute.
Miss Minute and
Miss Minute, the animated clock.
The voice of Tara Strong. If for those, she does a lot of things, but and here's this is so the guy who wrote this is one of the guys behind Rick and Morty. And if you've seen Rick and Morty, you know that it's absolutely the craziest, most bonkers animated series that, well, you know, that you could possibly make. He's also the guy who's writing the Doctor Strange movie. So, which will apparently be multiverse. I don't know. So there's almost like this is, I don't want to say a joke, but there is a definite kind of, and well, in this, I guess this fits, mischievous spirit to let's make a series that's about comic books and the infinite number of, you know, how they're different, it's this universe or it's that universe, or, you know, what I mean, the way that they've kind of justified the numerous different versions, and the, you know, once upon a time it was, well, that was their version. Now it's, well, that's this different universe, right. So everything can still exist. I wonder what Miss Minute feels about Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse. But anyway,
yeah, right.
It'd be fun to get some commentary on that. But so yeah, this is kind of, I mean, it's more goofy than I expected it to be.
It is rather goofy.
And it's like a detective drama comedy with you know, like you were saying before we started, people have only seen one episode, probably wondering, oh, what in the world is this? Right. Well, 2 doesn't make it that much clearer.
No.
But what it does is it starts to introduce new characters, and it starts to say, oh, you thought we were doing this. Well, actually, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And so at the end of 2 episodes, I'm kind of sitting there going, I cannot predict exactly, or, you know, I mean, it's like, I don't know where this is going, because it literally could go anywhere. And when I say anywhere, I mean anywhere on the timeline, anywhere in history, anywhere, you know. They already have jumped around quite a bit on the, you know, the timeline just in 2 episodes.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that I'm more hopeful for this, but I'm still waiting to see. And you know, and this, a lot of my, you know, my hesitancy to kind of be all in, it goes back to the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I think had some interesting stuff, but really kind of derailed and didn't hold up to, you know, I guess what it could have. It didn't reach its potential. And so I'm casually optimistic about this, but a little nervous that it's not going to have the steam to go another 4 episodes. But we'll see.
I think it can. I think that if nothing else, they can always fall back on the gag. And I'm not saying that this is a good thing. I'm just saying they can. They can always fall back on the gag where Loki winds up kind of getting punked in a lot of the ways that he has punked people in the past.
Sure.
It is kind of fun to watch the God of Mischief get mischieved. And it happens a lot in the first 2 episodes.
It does take a little of his menace away.
It does. And there's the
you know, scene go ahead.
No, it was in the first one. That's where he actually gets a read through of his whole life, his approved, designed, sacred timeline life. So he gets the highlights from Marvel Phase 2 and 3 that involve Loki, and that's an eye opener for him. And he has to deal with that.
Yeah, my hope is that, you know, he is goofy, and you know, I hope that at some point he gets a little bit of his menace back, because
his swagger back.
Yeah, I mean, that's
he only swaggers around the TVA agents.
Yeah, and
I'd like the lower ranking ones.
And I'd like to see him, because part of the reason why we loved him was he was all about himself. It wasn't. I mean, and which is, I guess, inherently evil in its own way. You know, he wanted to rule the universe. He wanted to, you know, but it was, you know, he you know, talked about being benevolent and whatnot, or what, you know, I will take away their choice, but they will be happier and better for it. And it felt like in the movies that he meant it,
right,
or that it was actually a possibility. Whereas in these first two episodes, it's almost as if, oh, this guy talking again. It's like Pinky in the Brain.
Right.
What are we going to do tonight? Like, same thing we do and they never actually achieve it. And so I just hope that he gets a little bit of, to that he is capable of doing a lot of things, and I hope that they don't undercut that too much.
Right. So, like I said, I don't want to. We don't want to spoil stuff. I would just like to say that I like the tone. It's kind of got the whimsy of WandaVision, but in a very specifically Loki way. Whereas WandaVision just kind of came out of left field and didn't really seem to fit Wanda or Vision until you kind of learned her backstory a little bit, and then it just kind of felt like I don't know. It's got that same sense of whimsy, but it all kind of fits Loki's personality, even if it plays against him, which it does a lot of times. But it's got that same feel, so I like the feel. I can understand your reticence about the next 4 episodes, but I probably have more faith in it than you do. But I'm just thinking that that's going to be Tom Hiddleston chewing on a lot of scenery as Loki, and I think he's going to get that swagger back probably by end of episode 3, maybe early episode 4, and that way they can get 2.5 or 3 solid episodes of him basically being full Loki.
Yeah, we need him to feel like a threat.
Yes,
like it's fine to this point that he's become a punchline, but we need, for the sake of the character itself, and he needs to be the dangerous.
He needs to be Loki.
Yeah, so
not a variant Loki.
No, not variant. He needs to be the Loki, but
right, he needs to be the Loki, the superior Loki.
Yes. So we'll see. And here's the thing, and this is the first of the series where they've actually kind of acknowledged the fact that they're considering a second season.
Right. And I think it depends. So, yeah, it's going to depend on how they end it, because it wouldn't really play into films. It would have to be series.
And
I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldier became Captain America and Winter Soldier, and that's going to play into the movies, and that's fine. WandaVision is going to play right into the movies. That's fine. This, because of the specificity of how Loki is where he is, I think kind of, I want to say limits, but there are no limits, but it limits it to television. I don't think you want to drag that back to the films.
But, considering the writing team did the Doctor Strange film as well, they might be building to something specific. I'm not sure. We'll see.
But if they carry through, I think they're going to carry through in a series. And it'll tie. It'll definitely be a couple of Easter eggs and off ramps probably to Doctor Strange. But I think overall the Loki story winds up being limited to television, and I think that's okay. And I'm gonna say one more thing, and I'm just gonna let you respond or not as you choose. Early on, R.I.P.D. And that's where I'm gonna leave that one. I'm not gonna comment either way. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but no, I think they're gonna have to rectify overall. To get away from that, so we'll get that bad taste out of our mouth. Or they're going to have to reconcile the idea of multiverse.
Yeah,
because right now we seem to be at odds with that idea.
Well, I mean, if I were to make a prediction, my prediction would be that Loki screws everything up on purpose and is kind of the god of the multiverse.
Well, that would be interesting, but like I said, it's just the idea of having one. This seems to fly in the face of having a multiverse. So I'm interested to see how they reconcile those two.
Well, I simply think the God of Mischief caused mischief, and suddenly there is a explosion of diversions and variants, and then we spend the next decade trying to figure out which timeline we're on.
Right.
Which anyway. I don't know. I'm waiting for them to have maybe, here you go. This is where they're going to introduce the X-Men into the Marvel universe.
Could be.
They're going to be like, well, what had the biggest issues with multiverse and loopholes and recons and whatnot. So there you go. There is the left field. It's not going to happen, but wouldn't it be great if this is how, Hugh Jackman ends up in the universe?
Oh God, that would be weird. We'll see though. They have 4 episodes to figure it out, and we'll see how those go. So Disney Plus. Every Wednesday, first episode came out this week. It'll be one a week. We have 6 total episodes of Loki, with Owen Wilson playing good angel Aziraphale to Loki's Crowley. Yeah. If you're a Good Omens fan, there's another comparison for you if you want to take it and run with it, or not. You can just leave it alone. So we'll be interested to see how that spins out of control probably over the next 5 weeks. Till next time, Ryan and I have a lot of movies that are coming out. I know there's a lot of Fast and Furious people out there. I think we'll be seeing F9, so I'm sure we'll be talking about that, but there's way more. We are still creeping ever closer to Black Widow, which we will see how that slots into the Marvel everything, because it's kind of outside the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but we'll see how that goes. So till we get to those, everyone stay safe, but have fun. Be smart. Don't forget to like us, follow us on social media at VS Movie Podcast. And until next time, I'm Mark. That's Ryan. Bye, Ryan.
See you guys.
And we'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.